What's up, folks? We are live, heading down the Bassmaster Classic. Sorry about the rough start on the other one. I don't know what was going on. I think I had my mapping in the background. It was clicking like a mother. And so I decided to take a stop. And now it sounds better, I think.
Sounds better to me.
Yeah, I can hear you better.
I think there was some kind of, like you said, some kind of conflict with it being, it could have been all the horsepower in that 2006.
2000.
2000? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That 2000, that 2000, Y2K edition Tacoma. And, it could have been the fuel injection. Actually, that's probably got a carburetor. Anyway, I was trying to think of something, but,
You need to calm down. The thing is, I could barely hear you because the wind was so loud and the phone was vibrating so much because I feel everything in this truck. There's like zero suspension, but
I mean, truck is kind of a, like a, like
hey,
a little bit of a
I just filled it up
stretch.
for $40, man. $40.
Yeah. Even better, you could probably save gas money when we leave the Classic. We could probably just stick it on top of my truck and strap it down, and then we could take it off when we get.
You got a team lift thing going on. I like that. That makes sense.
Does it run off of one of them little zip strips that you stick in the little wheel and you just rip it and it still gets steam?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All I need this thing to do is get me to 200,000 miles. I'm at 72 right now, so we'll see what happens.
I'm at 207 on my 2019.
Jeez. Drive like a mother.
Yeah. And I got this truck with like 380 miles on it. So
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Well, wanted to pop in a little bit, just talk a little bit about the Classic. I'm a Bassmaster Classic noob, so this will be the first time I have ever been.
Oh, so this will be the virgin experience.
Don't say you filtered a lot on that. I know you did.
Yeah. There was references to cherries involved.
Yeah, I knew it. I was like, you better filter. You need to filter, Chad.
It's like you see the spinning wheel as I was trying to think of an alternative.
I've known you long enough to know when you stop for a quarter second, that means you're filtering. Chad Hoover does have a filter, folks.
Yes, I do.
It's not a good one, but he's got one.
Yeah, I mean it works. So, he said that Chad get a new truck. No, I've got the same truck. It's and guys, just so you know, I can't see your names. I can only see the @ symbol and then the time because of the way my screen's set up. So I'll just be answering questions and stuff based on just seeing the comments. So if I don't recognize who you are, don't be offended. I just can't see it because of the way I've got Darren over here, me in the middle, and then the chat window, it truncates the name.
It's okay. So, I'm not driving, so I'll be able to check it out. That was Gramps actually. You got Jason Rear and Fishing. Evening, gentlemen. What's up, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, but I'm getting that click again. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
What in the world? Let me try unplugging the phone. Maybe it's coming.
Yeah, did you plug into something?
No, not a freaking thing. How about now? Is it gone?
It's gone now, yeah.
You know what? I had it plugged in to my car. Just charger to keep power up.
You know what it is? It's probably picking up that gerbil wheel of that little gerbil the hood.
Gerbils are in there. Well, this doesn't have to be a long line. What I want to know, Chad, as someone who's never been to the Bassmaster Classic before, I mean, I've done a little research. I heard they get like 150,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Because ICAST is like 15,000.
Yeah, you got to remember though, this is ICAST is a trade show. This is a consumer show. So it's back. The gerbil's back.
I have no clue what it is. It's pissing me off, whatever it is. So hopefully it goes away. I'm like not on the road. I'm not moving. Nothing's plugged in. No maps are up. It's a little irritating.
Somebody commented and said that they took the Voyex on a demo the other day. Awesome new kayak for the market. I don't know who that is because I can't see the name. Um, but whoever took the Voyex out said that they thought it was an awesome new kayak. So we'll see. I think that the name sounds like a pharmaceutical commercial or a venereal disease. So I think maybe they should work on that a little bit. I think it probably translated in a different language, but not so much in the old
English
English that we
vernacular.
use here
Yeah.
that we use here in the America. Um, but I mean, I guess I could get used to the Voya massa. It's like the Voya massa.
Is it
Massa,
massa or massa? I don't even know.
massa, massa. I don't know. Like, I guess it's probably massa.
Massa 128. I don't know. No one knows what any of this stuff means.
Is it MASSA or MASA?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's MOSSA.
Oh, then it's definitely massa. Mosa. Food that you buy at like a hotel, like those restaurants that are on top of a hotel where they make all the fancy drinks, something like that, or like an airport lounge, or like I said before, like something you catch in a seedy uh, um, institution by paying attention to the wrong woman.
So,
But the boat looks like a decent layout. It's interesting that they doubled down on the electric pedal drive kind of concept that Old Town was building on with the EPDL
right.
that Jackson did maybe 6 years before that, and that Feel Free has done for probably 10 years. With the version that they had, I forget the exact name of it. But they had like the overdrive, I think is what they called it, concept. Okay. So it's interesting to see where things are going with innovation. I know that a lot of people think, and I know that this is what Old Town thought, we're going to take the popularity of an e-bike and then the popularity of a pedal drive kayak and mix it together. I just personally don't know if it translates because I don't know that. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't. Pedal drives have never really appealed to me, so I'm a little bit biased in that a pedal drive with a motor in it isn't going to appeal to me. I almost look at it like, why don't I just get a motor?
Right.
But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go with an open mind tomorrow morning, go to the demo, and see how we can do it.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Chad and I are probably going to go live tomorrow around 8:30 a.m. I know the time says 9:30. We're going to get there early. Just hit play. Maybe as they're pulling the boats off, whatever it is, talk to whoever's bringing it there, learn a little bit more about it, take it out for a test drive, and give you our initial thoughts. I'm someone who actually loves a pedal drive, also love a motor. And so we'll see. It's interesting. The weird thing about it is that there was like really no teaser. This thing just came out of the blue like a week or two ago. It's like, hey, guess what? We're here. We're like, great. Who are you? I've tried writing them on Instagram. Nothing. When you signed up for the demo tomorrow, like, hey, sign up anywhere between 9 and 12. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. So I signed up. They just got back to me 2 days ago. It was like, hey, pick a time. I was like, how about you tell me a time? Like, I pick it 9:30. Can you confirm? Nothing. Heard nothing back. So I'm like, all right, if this is how, like, I've had these experiences before. I've had the experience with FluxJet. A year ago, they reached out. They're like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And then I write them back, and they wouldn't get back to me for weeks, and I had to follow up. I was like, guys, I don't need to be in your kayak. I thought it was interesting, and so I don't know. I'm having like knee-jerk flashbacks right now to a company who doesn't know how to respond to a freaking email, and I get real turned off real fast.
Maybe they are overwhelmed with the fact that they tried to do this at launch at the Classic, and they're probably getting a lot of actual individual consumers. But you shouldn't reach out if you don't have the capacity to respond. So I agree. I did the same thing. I responded and said, hey, Darren Wendell booked a trip, booked a demo for both of us at 9:30. Can you confirm? And I still haven't gotten a response.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to give FluxJet the benefit of the doubt because a good buddy of mine, James Snyder from Yakabass out in California, works there. But you know, we talked to them about doing the demo prior to ICAST. Then it turned into, well, we can't fly to Sacramento. We'll do it at ICAST, which turned into, sorry, we don't have a working model. We will talk about it after ICAST. And then, of course, I made an appointment to go to the booth and do a video. When I got there, they were doing other videos. And it was like, okay, I scheduled something. And if I schedule something and you're not ready for it, then I'm going to go do something else. And then when I come back, they were wrapped up with other influencers and stuff. So I wasn't gonna elbow my way into the booth to try to force a video when I had a scheduled appointment that was missed. But I talked to James. He said he's going to be here at the Classic, so we'll go to the FluxJet booth. We'll probably do a live stream where we go in and just ask the questions that you guys have. So if you have questions about the FluxJet, then put them in the chat. Um, and then if you got questions about the new Oya Masa, your sketchy noise is back, bro. I don't know what it is, but the if you got questions about that, then we can answer both at the demo and after, and then probably also go to the booth at the show and do kind of like a walkthrough. I'd love to be able to answer your questions for you. That's a big part of why I went non-exclusive with Bonafide this year, so I could answer more questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be straight with you. Bonafide is still my favorite kayak. I still think they make the best breadth of product from the RS 117 through all the way up to the XTR, hands down. And the most versatile lineup, the most value proposition for what you pay for. I think the weakest link in the Bonafide lineup is probably the P127, which was your boat, because I think that the native side of the Big Adventures family is probably the more superior pedal drive boats. And now that they've got the folding pedal drive,
Yeah.
that the hammer and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to go over to Relax Retreats in Carolina King with Andrew Blair and do a walkthrough of those boats sometime at the end of this month or early next month. I'm going to be doing as much as I can to get as much experience in all the boats that are out there. Starting Wednesday of next week, after you and I finish up on Guntersville, I'm actually making a big pivot towards the inflatable side of the game. I mean, you know this, and some people know it, but I've been working on an inflatable project in the background with Sea Eagle, and I've got three of what I consider the most viable products for the type of fishing that kayak fishermen do. One of them is a canoe, and I got that canoe because my favorite, honestly, still to this day, one of my favorite, if not my favorite fishing kayaks ever, is the So I'm take their 16-foot travel canoe and do a little bit wider, more stable, more riggable, and self-bailing 13-foot 6-inch version, kind of bringing back think of the Native Ultimate and the Commander 120 and 140 merged into one boat, made inflatable, made transportable, made more cost effective, and self-bailing in a canoe form. So higher capacity, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about getting fired up on all of that stuff next week. So somebody said, I'd like thoughts on FluxJet's stern light in regards to placement and limitations. I feel like it's too close to the seat, which draws a ton of bugs right to your head at night.
I just called you on this.
I hate making assessments based on something that I haven't seen, but I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to be one of those people that can say, I've been doing this thing long enough that I can make certain assertions based on experience. And you actually brought it up yesterday or the day before. Like, if the stern light's that low, isn't it completely blocked when the angler is facing in line? So I actually think that's a problem. I think that they're going to have to at least extend that up enough to where it's over the angler's head in the seating position. Otherwise, it's not a true 360 light, because if the angler, even in the seating position, blocks it, it can't qualify as a 360-degree light. So I'm not sure where they're at on that evaluation process. I know that there's a lot of problems that they're working through. Um, I'll be honest with you. I had a great conversation with them, I thought, in like September. And then they're like, oh, we'll hit you back at the end of the month and we'll figure out a way to get you involved. And never heard back. So I either asked questions that they didn't like. Maybe I was too forward, too direct. I don't know. But I feel like maybe their their idea was to go with some more kind of I don't want to say this the wrong way, but like more of your softball type influencers first, the ones that are just happy to be there, that'll say complimentary things without asking the tough questions. And unfortunately, I'm just not that guy, not at this stage of my career, and to give the best possible um, feedback. So, you know, um, my biggest three concerns, if you want to call them that, of the Flux Jet is um, their capacity claims feel suspect to me. The
400
the
pounds.
problems, yeah, usable. That seems very optimistic for an 11-foot boat, um, even if it was like 48 inches wide. But the other thing that I would say concerns me is that things like your steering bushing not fitting after you've already supposed to have delivered boats is a little bit concerning. I mean, I get it. It's launching a new product. There's things that like sneak up on you. There's things you don't anticipate. But if you machine a bushing to specs, there's no variation in an injection molded part. There's tens of thousands of inches of tolerance in that. More likely, the culprit of something like that is irregularities in the mold of the boat, irregularities in the cooling process, and things that are affecting the fit and finish of some of the componentry that away. So um, somebody said, Chad, are you going to be at RR with Andrew on the 28th? I'll be there until the 30th with him and Jay Valentine for the demo day and the KFD meetup. Unfortunately, the one guided trip that I already had booked for this year, which is the person who won the Hall of Fame giveaway, is on the 28th to the 1st. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make it there then. I'm either going to be there like right before that or right after that. So unfortunately, I won't be at the KFD meetup this year because I already had a conflict, and I'll try to work with Jay and those guys in the future to know what their meetups are, so that in the future I can block those dates out on my calendar. I'd love to meet up with the KFD group because I think the KFD group is a really great opportunity for KFast. That's a perfect group of people to be helping carry that flag. And I think it's a great opportunity also for some guys to monetize their marketing and promotion efforts in the kayak fishing space through our affiliate program. So I'd love to be there for that. Unfortunately, I've got a conflict for a guided trip on Gunnersville that weekend.
Chad, real fast. One, you're a lot more patient, and sometimes you call me up. It's like, bro, you need to throttle back a little bit. But when it comes to FluxJet, my gosh, more patient than I am. But yeah, I was working with them 6 months prior to you, and I'm kind of like, I'm done. If I get one of the boats because someone has one around me, I'll do a review on it. But man, someone asked me recently, what do you think about FluxJet? It's like, I'll be completely honest with you.
Somebody said
Everything that's happened to me. And I don't like working with companies to say one thing and do another. That's the end of the story.
Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time when I see like a comment on Hobie screwed me over or Bonafide screwed me over, and I'm like, there is no Bonafide, there is no Hobie. That's a brand that doesn't do anything but exist. There are people that um, that maybe don't represent a company properly. The problem with FluxJet right now is the two people that we did have interaction with are the two people that represent the brand. And so as a new company, you've got to be over delivering and over managing those relationships instead of the other way around. So where I give companies the benefit of the doubt, um, um, it's kind of hard to give it the benefit of the doubt when it is the two people running the company. And more importantly, it's like I didn't reach out to you. You reached out to me. So if you reach out to me to ask me to do something on behalf of your company, and then I make the time to do it, and I make the time to offer up, expertise that you're not paying for, um, not using it is not showing respect for the fact that you took up my time to ask me for that for my opinion. And I just also just sometimes I get frustrated, but I've learned how to just let it roll off like water off a duck's back, the older I've gotten. And especially with, some of the stuff I went through in the last couple of years, um, I just don't get wrapped around the axle about it. Like, it's your company. If you don't want to take advantage of the 30 plus years of experience I have in this space, the aeronautical engineering background, the I could keep you from stepping on some of these landmines. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cool. And I also think some people don't get roses and flowers. They don't want to talk to that person anymore. So if they want a bunch of yes men and a bunch of people to, blow smoke up their skirt, I'm just not that guy, because I'm doing you a disservice if I don't tell you what I think based on the cumulative experience that I have as both a kayak angler, a designer, an engineer, all that.
Yeah.
So,
And
you know,
real quick, let me hop in here because I think it's important to say that Chad and I, and we've had this conversation, we want FluxJet to succeed. We want every company that comes into the kayak fishing space to succeed. But on the same breath, like, you guys trust us to tell you our experiences. And so that's what we're doing. We're telling you our experiences. At the end of the day, I want to see FluxJet take off. I think the idea behind it is freaking awesome. I think it'd be suitable for a lot of different kayak anglers to utilize that type of platform for the type of fishing that they do. And so don't hear us
yeah.
wrong here.
And I'll be honest with you, man. A lot of people think that, a lot of people, and even you, when you first got into the space, equate like sponsored with biased. And so a lot of times people think because I'm sponsored that I'm biased. And, the answer to that question is, yeah, you're biased because you chose the company to be sponsored by because you love their product. So you're obviously biased. But when people make these claims that they're not biased because they're not sponsored, one, it's disingenuous because 9 times out of 10, when somebody plays that game, they're trying to get clicks and views by shitting on a product that never would have done a sponsorship deal with them in the first place. So it's like there's a difference between being not sponsored and can't get sponsored, right? So first and foremost, I think that stuff needs to be a little bit more transparent. The other thing is you can't be unbiased. You're biased by your life experiences. You're biased by your preferences. You're biased by the way that you fish, the things that you like. So to even play the game of using the term unbiased is kind of crap. You could say that you're not paid to say things you don't believe. Cool. But you can be paid and not say things you don't believe. You and I had this discussion when we talked about the disparagement clause in contracts. Like, I don't do contracts with disparagement clauses in it Because if I feel like there's something wrong, and I think a consumer is going to feel the same way, I feel like it's my duty to say something. I'll give you an example. I've called out Bonafide repeatedly for putting the bolt heads in on the seat instead of out on the seat. If you put them out on the seat and you're a bigger dude, that nut doesn't stick you in the back, and it doesn't. There's no reason it can't be the other way, but for whatever reason, they keep doing it. Some of the other things that are on the boats that I don't like, I call it out. I say, hey, here's one of the first things you're going to need to change or you're going to need to address when you get this boat. That's not disparaging. That's letting a consumer know, hey, before you get out there on your boat and you're halfway through the day and this like nut that's sticking inside the seat is rubbed a damn raw spot, just flip that stuff before you go fishing. Now, the consumer's aware. The consumer can make the change, or they can choose not to buy it if they don't want to spend 10 minutes flipping the bolt over. So to me, I'm a firm believer in being an advocate for the consumer. And so it's as much that I don't want a company to come in the space and fail as I don't want customer dissatisfaction in kayak fishing. And in as much as I say that, I don't want people making claims that I think are not just unfounded, but like they're impractical or unachievable, right? Like I'll give you an example. I don't think that FluxJet can achieve 6 miles per hour at the kilowatt rating that they say that their motor's rated at from a range up to 5,000 kilowatts. So it feels like to me to get that motor to 5,000 kilowatt, you'd have to have such an excessive battery weight that you've almost rendered the boat unusable. So then it's kind of disingenuous to say that the boat can do up to 6 miles per hour because you don't have the weight capacity or the power to do it.
Right.
And I think you're better off as a brand saying, hey, here's the realistic situation we're going to be in. We're going to be somewhere between 1,000 watts and 2,000 watts, depending on the size of the battery that you get. And you can expect speeds from 3 miles an hour to 5 miles an hour on the high side. Yes, a mile per hour is a lot when you're talking about the difference between 5 and 6, but you're better off saying that it'll hit 5, then you get 5.5, than you are saying it'll hit 6 and you get 5. So it's just the little stuff like that. And then, you know,
it was 7 at ICAST.
And then,
It
yeah.
must be coming down.
But their website, I think, has always said 6. But I just don't think that's achievable with the rating of the motor based on how much power it would take to get it there. I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. I hope everything they say they're able to pull off. But we're now like in March. We're going to the second show that the boat's being shown at. It won Best of Show at ICAST. And no dealers have boats. So I'm 35 days fishing this year already, right? If I'm a consumer who, you know, bought into the idea of this new concept and the days are getting longer, the weather's getting warmer, and I'm starting to miss fishing, it's going to create a customer dissatisfaction scenario that's not good for anybody in the sport. So I just wish companies would be more, you know, and again, I work with brands that I say the same thing to, and I've said the same thing about. Like, for example, Yak Attack. I literally was there last week, and I was in the CEO's office for 3 days. And I'm like, look, man, we either got to do R&D out loud and say, we're going to work on this until we get it right. And once we get it right, we can announce a launch date, or we got to stop saying when the launch date is if we can't achieve it. Like we've been saying, we're coming out with a pole for forward-facing sonar for three years. You know, we're coming up on the third ICAST that we haven't delivered that pole. Let's stop saying it. I have the anchor reel on my boat now, and I just did the final stages testing for it, and it's ready to go for that drop shot anchor reel. But we talked about it for 2 years before we did it, you know? So either we need to change the language and manage expectations or stop making promises because I've been guilty of it myself with KBF and with everything that I've done. So you're way better off under promising and over delivering instead of over promising and under delivering. And I think that FluxJet right now is skirting that um, that line of over promising and under delivering, and it's going to lead to potentially having a lot of customer dissatisfaction and a lot of negative publicity. Which, if they would have just said, "Hey, we're going to release summer of 2026," and then they release in the spring, they would have been better off. You know,
Yeah.
I think that.
I hear you. All right, let's switch gears real quick. Got another question for you. If you have not yet done so, we got 45 live right now. Appreciate it. Go hit that like button if you could. We'll keep this thing going until after when it's all said and done. But Chad, let's go back to the Bassmaster Classic. For someone who's never been there before, for someone who's not going, what is it that if you could paint a picture for what the Classic is, walk me through it.
Well, the Bassmaster Classic is the ultimate fishing expo for bass enthusiasts. It's a proving ground for new brands and an opportunity to get in front of large consumers. It's one of the only trade shows, consumer shows that I know of where you're almost assured breaking even or making money by going to the show just because of the sheer volume of foot traffic. Whereas with a lot of other shows, you kind of got to think of it as, yeah, we'll sell some stuff, but we're doing it as an opportunity to sell some stuff and a branding and exposure play. The Bassmaster Classic's both. You're going to get branding, you're going to get exposure. To a lot of people, and you'll start to see this when we walk around together, it's also like it's a family reunion to a certain extent. It's a unique experience in that you've got business happening with brands doing marketing releases and product releases and things like that, but you've also got the consumers there that are not just seeing the new product, but they can also purchase. So like several of the bigger retailers will have like a ridiculous retail footprint. There'll be lines. There'll be people with big ass bags. They'll have limits on what you can buy because the deals are so good. And it's like an expo meets a flea market meets a family reunion meets one of the biggest sporting events in outdoors, the Bassmaster Classic. So the backdrop of the whole thing is the fact that the World Championship, the Super Bowl of bass fishing, is going on at the same time. But I almost think that the expo itself has become the draw that overshadows the fact that the Classic is even going on. Like, I think they could run the Classic Expo without the Classic, but I don't think they could run the Classic without the Expo. So this thing is the lifeblood, and it's what keeps Bassmaster going. One of the things that I heard is they do a membership drive during this event, and they make like 2/3 of their annual revenue in this week.
Oh wow!
Between
like fundraising at year end,
between membership sales and booth sales and media markup and all the things that they do, 2/3 of Bass's annual revenue is generated during this week of business, and so it's a staple of bass fishing. Major League Fishing came in and tries to do Red Crest. The Red Crest Expo. I mean, I love the guys at Major League Fishing. I know everybody from the top to the bottom at Major League Fishing. I partnered with FLW back in 2019, and we did a series. Love them. But the Red Crest Expo is a lemonade stand compared to this thing. I mean, it really is. The Bassmaster Classic is the granddaddy of them all. It is the Super Bowl of bass fishing, meets the greatest show on earth, meets and if you're a fan of bass fishing, the other thing that the Classic offers is that opportunity to be walking around and go, oh my God, there goes Kevin Van Dam. Oh, holy crap, that's Rick Clunn. Like you get to see all your heroes and realize how approachable they are. What I love about bass fishing is we have the most approachable celebrities in our sport. Like,
Right.
you can't go to the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, International Fight Week in Vegas, and see the guys just walking around, you know, stopping and taking pictures and talking with fans in the aisle. You can't go to an NFL convention and see a bunch of players walking. I don't know of any sport that you can go to where you have the level of access to the athletes that you have for Bassmaster and for the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah. And it's our hope, guys. At the end of the day, really, this is why I like to go. Right. I'm hoping to capture that as best as I possibly can through lives, through videos, through the editing, through posting those after the classic's over, to give you a taste. I've never been before, but it's my hope that I can go and I can bring back all of this so you guys can see it and you can experience it from your phone and from your computer and from your TV at home. That's the juice. That's my hope.
Yeah, I mean, for 23 years, I've missed the classic when I was going through a divorce and had COVID. So I've missed 2 out of 23 years. So 23 years. Holy crap. So Austin's 26. I took him and he was in a stroller at like 2. And then, so I've been at least 24 years, or however long it's been. So I've been to most of them.
Yeah.
In the modern era, if you will,
Austin just texted me. Literally, it's coming down on my screen. It's like, bro, give me a call when you're off live.
Yeah,
I got you.
Gotcha. Cool. So let me go back and let's see if I can look at some of these questions.
I can't see them. That's the issue. Sorry, guys. If you've been writing questions and comments, it is so small on our phones that it's hard to even see it. And so I apologize here. I'll look.
Somebody said, where that new kayak cover at? So if that's directed at me, I actually just pivoted and I'm working on manufacturing for that. Again, one of the things that I'm practicing what I preach is I'm showing you guys these things, but I'm not making any promises on the PFD, on the seat, on any of those things until I get a better idea of what's, really practical. I got a lot of stuff in prototype phase right now that I'll be doing a lot more. I'll be revealing a lot more in the coming weeks, but I'll be sure to disclaimer all of it that I won't know where I'm at on any of it until I know where I'm at on any of it. And I won't tell you anything I'm going to be very non-committal until I know. Somebody said, I'm super excited. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. I hope to see y'all. Yeah, if you see us, say something. I always hate it when people say, hey, man, I saw you at the Classic, but I didn't want to say anything. If you see something, say something. Just walk up, grab a hold to us, say, hey, I'm, whatever. Tell me where you're from. This will be my like 15th Classic or so since I started doing TV and stuff to where, I had fans, which is still weird to me because I'm just a dude that fishes out of a kayak. But the Classic's wild, man. I've signed booties. I've signed boobies. I've signed a lot of boobs. It blows my mind how many boobs I've signed. I've even signed man boobs at the Classic before.
What?
Because a dude said, oh, yeah, I signed this dude. He's like, hey, sign my wife's kitty meat. That's how he literally approached me and said, hey, man, can I get you to sign something for me? And I said, yeah, what's that? And he pushed his wife forward. And she, smashed him up. And I tried to sign, up around her collarbone. He's like, no, man, get down there on the titty meat. I'm like, good God. Okay. And then I signed a butt crack. I've signed, what do you call it? Tramp stamps. I've drawn caricatures on people and then signed below it. The Classic's wild, man. So if you see me, say something. If you want something signed, say something. I always hate it when it's after the event and I get a DM. Hey, man, I saw you and I really wanted to say something, but I didn't. If you see me, if you see Darren, say something. Don't wait till after the Classic and wish you had him.
I got a comment from mainstream fishing in here. He said he wants his tramp stamp signed by you, Chad. So, Jermaine, we got you, man.
I used to be weirded out by it. Now I just look at it like it's all in good fun. Let's do it. Let's have some fun with it. I might get some of y'all to autograph some stuff for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I actually have, because this is not, I'm not being pretentious, but because it's like 3 classics in a row, somebody asked me. I've actually got a few copies of my book that I threw in my backpack. So if you see me and you saw this live stream and you say, "Hey man, I'd love to get a signed copy of your book," if I haven't given them all away, just ask me for it and I'll sign a copy of my book and just give it to you. So I've got
Which
a
is
few of them.
wild because I would imagine a lot of people on the stream didn't even realize you could read, let alone write a book. So this is impressive.
Yeah,
Impressive
exactly.
information here, Chad.
Yeah, it's actually, I wrote this in American too. It ain't even in English. It's written in it's written in it's written in Southern American. So you don't even have to have a degree in kindergarten to read it.
Written in redneck. I like it.
Written in redneck, baby.
Oh my gosh. Well, bro, I'm looking forward to this. I don't want this live to go forever because, one, I'm about 30 minutes out from Cincinnati. And if I talk any longer, I'm going to be stuck in freaking rush hour for hours before I get the Reds tonight.
Hold on. I gotta respond to this one comment.
Yeah,
this person said, "Thanks for explaining. I wasn't quite sure what my husband was actually doing this weekend. So since you brought that up, I do got to explain the other part of the classic. There's lots of like people who group up and hit like strip clubs and brothels, and they go to like hotels and have these big after parties and things like that. So make sure that you got Life 360 on so you can track your husband the whole time, because actually I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, bro. It's like the Super Bowl. It literally happens at the Super Bowl. So I was like, all right, 150,000 people. Crap's happening.
None of that happens at the Classic, because the thing about it is, at ICAST, some of that happens because it's kind of a safe environment because there's not as many of the public there, but you can go to like little private meetings and stuff. At the Classic, everybody's kind of on their best behavior. But the cool thing is, if you look up the Knoxville Convention Center and you go on Friday night and Saturday night to the Waffle House that is southwest of the Knoxville Convention Center, you will see Matt Robertson, Gerald Swindell. You're going to see some of the pros at the Waffle House because it's the only place that's open. And I promise you, if they don't make the cut, they're going to go out and party, and they're going to be at that Waffle House. Just look up the Waffle Houses. There's one that's south and west of the convention center, about 2.5 miles. You'll run into a party at the Waffle House Classic weekend, guaranteed. But it's cool. It's like laid back. We're sitting in there 2 years ago, and Matt Robertson, the Onum guy, comes walking in with a damn fur coat on and a Kid Rock top hat. And you're like, what the hell? And then, there's probably a half a dozen other pros in there by the time we left. So the cool thing about the Classic is you're going to run into celebrity fishermen. You're going to run into influencers. You're going to run into people at Walmart, at Waffle House, in the convention center, at your hotel lobby. It's just a crazy, like, bass fishing taking over a town. And then on top of that, Knoxville is a cool ass town. It just is. It's UT. It's the university famous for partying. They're so famous for partying. They're famous for like butt chugging beer because they want to get drunk faster than they can by drinking it. So Knoxville is a party town. It's a cool town, and it's also like centrally located in lots of redneck America, southern, Appalachia, and kind of like the Ohio River Valley. So a lot of people. I tell everybody that like rednecks come to the Bassmaster Classic like Muslims to Mecca.
Yep.
So it's fun. I've gone where I loved it and I had that new car feel, to dreaded going because I had to work too many booths, to now being independent and free and really enjoying it again. So I'm going to do the best I can to have the best time that I can. I'm planning on being there all day on Friday, tomorrow, most of the day on Saturday. That'll depend on kind of how much stuff we get done. And then probably not going to be there Sunday because we're going to get the hell up out of there and go fishing. So if y'all are there, if you see us, say something. So
So real quick, so here's the rundown, everybody. So tonight, Chad and I are driving in. Chad's got some things. We're gonna be heading over to Rudd's house. I think Fluke Master's staying there tonight, so we hang out. We got that Masa live, that Voya X live at 8:30 in the morning. So if you're heading into work, check that out. 128, and then we're heading over to the Classic. We'll be there all day. Like Chad said, we'll be there Saturday morning, and then Alex is going to be joining me and you. We're going to be heading over to Gunnersville. We're going to put the hurting on them. Might be doing some night fishing. We'll be going live again. But one last thing, Chad, if you guys are listening to this, top right hand corner, you're going to see a logo. I know we talk about KFAS from time to time, but at the end of the day, we want you guys to be safe out there in the water. If you have not yet taken the course, for less than the price of a Vision 110, you can be more safe out there in the water. We even have a thing, if you have a buddy who's out there that likes to risk it for the biscuit, you can send. We've had a lot of people buy them for their buddies and for their friends. And just to let you know, that's the basic course. Chad and I have already scoped out 13 lessons. I've already written 4 of them. And we're not going to overpromise. We're shooting for June 1st, but it's the middle of freaking fishing season, right?
June 1st. We're going to have it. It's going to happen.
I've heard this before, Chad. I believe it. We have the time. We're on track right now. But if you haven't taken that course, head over to kfast.co, not com, kfast.co. Take those trainings, help get the word out. We really appreciate that. Want to make this accessible to everyone. We want to make it affordable for everyone. That's why it's $25, right? Pretty simple. So we'd love to have your support on that. Chad, anything else before we wrap this up?
No, man. Like I said, y'all do us a favor. Please help support all the promotional and content efforts we do by making yourself safer, making the sport safer, and you get more out of it than you put in it with the benefits that we offer. Yeah, man. Just come to the Classic. If you're on the fence and you were thinking about going, I mean, Darren's going to be wearing booty shorts and a fishnet top with a Uncle Sam Coming to America hat from Rocky 3. So like that'll be worth the price of admission right there. So,
when you lose a bet, you got to own up to it. So.
I mean, yeah. So if you see something, if you see us, say something. You know,
please. That's love to meet you. One of the reasons we're coming in, not to shoot content, but we'd love to meet you. I really would. I love when people come up and be like, "Hey, man, I just did this. I was at an event in Bardstown, and I was like, crap, there's the tactical bassing guys. I was like, there's only like 5 people around. I go say hi to them. So went over, said hi to them, the coolest dudes ever. So Matt Allen, Tim Little, had a great conversation. Don't miss that opportunity to go. If it's us, if it's somebody else, that's why they're there. I'm sure they would love to talk with you. They wouldn't be there if they wouldn't. So appreciate y'all for chiming in. I got to get on the road. I know Chad does too. Got to get through Cincinnati, but stay safe out there. All you guys that are driving in as well. Appreciate you.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
See you at the Classic.